3.6 Impala. Third one, 3 months. I hate Chevy Impalas. I hate Chevy Impalas. Went to Domino's, had lunch, came back, still hate Impalas. A lot less going on under there now. Poor old 3.6, said no one ever. You know what they did say? I hate Chevy Impalas. So through the power of magic and editing, we have a new 3.6 piece of shit laying on the floor to go back into this piece of shit. And we're gonna thank our buddy Kenny over at Matlock Auto Parts in North Carolina. They gave us the hookup and got it to us in a timely fashion. It's ready to rock and roll. We just got to address a few things. So they left us all the coil packs, the intake manifold, the injectors, high pressure fuel pump, the EGR pumps. Pretty much a dressed up motor as far as I'm concerned. Tensioner pulley, water pump, all the knock and cranks and cam sensors are in there. I mean, they really gave it to us pretty looking. So now, just in case you didn't know, I hate Chevy Impalas. Had to call it an early day yesterday on the Impala. We ran out of parts. Went ahead and threw a new water pump on it because the old one was leaking. And it didn't have coolant in it, but you could tell that it had been leaking. And then when you spun it around, you could hear the bearing roaring inside of it really bad. So we cleaned everything up, new gasket, new water pump. Somebody's already been in here and put a new Felpro lower intake gasket on it, so we're going to leave that, just clean everything up. Motor is mounted to the transmission, all the torque converter bolts are in. The front motor mount is not hooked up because, I don't know if you can see that, no good. They had to order that. Didn't have one in stock. So it should be here now. Dad's gone to pick up parts. On another note, we had to order catalytic converters. The front one is okay. It was the only one that was okay. We're just gonna clean it, put it back in. The rear one was absolutely blown apart. Chunks hanging out of it. Destroyed. All that blew down through the little crossover pipe that goes over the K-frame, clogged up the third cat, and began to burn it out as well. So it's got to have a rear cat, or a bank, technically be bank one cat, and the third cat, or the secondary. Those got ordered. They were pricey, but the car's got to have them. So we got new catalytic converters in. Motor's pretty much inside the car. Still hate Impalas. Added a new thing to the list. Aftermarket converters that never fit right. So you see how nice and flush that thing is now? Well, beforehand, look at this awful fitment in here where they jammed the flange over it and then welded it from the outside. A lot of slag all over the place. But anyway, you see where I've been grinding this down. That lip right there, that's pretty flat now, but I bet it was sticking up damn near close to 1/8 of an inch in some spots. Pushed it up against the head and couldn't quite get it to go all the way down. It was rocking, and that's when I pulled it off and looked. I've got it pretty much good now. Better, but when you're spending $1,000 on some parts, you'd think the people that sent it over here on the boat maybe would have put a little bit more work into it. But, you know, that's me being optimistic when this is a pessimistic world. And besides, I hate Chevy Impalas. One new catalytic converter, 2 new catalytic converters. And here's a tip when you're buying these. Make sure you buy the happy ones. The sad ones don't last as long. But here we go. It's in. You essentially cut the back of the other cat right off where the flange portion of it, like on this one, you cut it right there. And it gives you this pipe, slides over the original band clamp, new gaskets, new hardware. So we're ready to go. Fantastic. We're all buttoned together. There's oil in it. Let's give it a whirl. After I find the keys. Keys help. Is that the key? There it goes. Okay. Make sure the fuel pump's primed up. Oh, dead jump box. Oh, fantastic. And the battery went to 74%. Maybe just enough to light it off. Let's try this again. Oh, God. Beat the door on to death. Nothing. All right, new plan. The jump box sat on the nuclear charger for a few minutes too, so let's see if this will have enough in there. 1.9 volts. Oh, it's doing a bunch of clicking and clacking. That's good stuff. Let's see if it will run now. Hey, and it sounds pretty good. There's always a freaking ABS light, and the traction light's going to be related to ABS, service stability, track, all that. Hey, it does sound good though. That's real nice, Clark. Real nice. And we just got to bleed the cooling system, get all that stuff finished. But it runs. It's day 3 of hating Chevrolet Impalas, and it had been done yesterday. But these lateral links that are on the rear of this thing, it's got an adjustable one on the rear side and a non-adjustable one on the front side, and the record driver that hauled this thing in put his big old J-hooks right up in here on those bad boys and yanked them in and bent the rear wheels in big time. So we had to go get new ones. Here's the new ones.
Let me show you old one.
See how it looks nice and straight and even? Yeah. There's our old one. Yeah, they're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Lucky. And I have from the back seat the final piece of the puzzle. Dad just topped it off with oil. We chased down a electrical issue for the ABS. It was a broken wire in the harness between the PCM and the ground side of the front right wheel speed sensor. So we just threw a patch in there and let that ride. There you go. There's your final piece to the world's ugliest puzzle. This 3.6 Impala is pretty much ready to go back on the road, unfortunately. It does need a driver headlight, because this one's, it's just not in good shape. Like I'm even allergic to this shit. Ugh. I hate Chevy Impalas. Let's take her out on the road. Oh, the trans does shift. Look at that. That's what I was figuring would be messed up on it next. but it drives. So it's got 209 on it. It's got a crack in the windshield. It's fairly quiet though. Decently smooth. I hate Chevy Impalas, but it does appear as though this one works. Again, the instrumentation doesn't flicker like that. It's just the frame rate on the camera. I don't know if it's even flickering for you guys, but looking through it, it's showing everything flickering. It's not actually doing that. It's dirty. I still got to go to detail. The steering wheel's got tape all over it. I don't know what else to say. But it's alive and it runs. No warning lights. These are just some of the worst Impalas though. I don't see the appeal of them. Like, they're good on the highway. They're smooth and they're comfortable on the highway. And that's about it. I have nothing else. I really don't like much else about them. But, you know, to each their own. Let's go back to the shop now that we know that it will successfully make a lap around the block. And it does shift gears, so for now. Just like that, the saga of the Impala is over with. So don't worry, I still hate Chevrolet Impalas. But we put a motor in it, we made it run. Got to find a headlight, maybe get that fender painted, clean it up. I don't know. Not a fan of Chevy Impalas. Let's just leave it at that. But another one's back on the road. Charlie went with me on the test drive. He approved. He said it was good. And now we got to move on to a bucket truck with a bad starter. So let's get these guys back on the road. It's cold today. We're going to crank the heaters back up and get them back fixing all the cable lines and stuff. Whatever it is they do. I don't know. So guys, thanks for watching. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think. We'll catch you in the next one. What do you think about them Chevy Impalas? Or F-350s? I don't know. Bonus footage. Got the Impala back from the detail shop. Threw a couple good tires on it. Used, of course, but they got some really good tread on them. Look how clean the engine bay is now. Got a new headlight stabbed in the driver's side. It's used. Looks better than the passenger side now, unfortunately, but it ain't broke anymore. And then we had a transmission cooler line fitting start leaking. It goes into that little hole right there. Luckily, you pull this little inner fender area thing out, and push the line over, you can get in there with a pick, pop the clip, unscrew it. It's a 19 millimeter. Dad's gone to the parts store to acquire us a new one. Didn't bother fixing the seat. Of course, we did put a new battery in it. No warning lights have came on though. It was just leaking trans fluid from that fitting. But yeah, so it actually turned out pretty decent. We're gonna stab that on there, and this thing's going to the lot, and she will be sold. So not too bad, all in all. Quick turnaround. As Victory would say, easy money. But really, I still hate Chevy Impalas. But thank you all for watching.